Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be on ammo storage. At time of recording, it is March 28th, 2020. And we got the full-blown Corona scare going on right now. And that is part of the inspiration behind this video. So I'm going to be talking about how to store ammo and a little bit of why that you need to be storing ammo. So, going into how to store ammo. The best option, in my opinion, is using military surplus ammo cans. So, the military, or Department of Defense, they contract through companies who build these cans to certain specifications. The most common or most popular can, I believe, is the 30 caliber ammo can. The 30 caliber ammo can has been around for years. And what this can was originally designed for was to carry belt ammo. Now, for those of you who don't know what belt ammo is, it's basically a bunch of bullets that are all connected together. Hence the name belt ammo. So if you ever watched like a movie like Rambo, and he's got that big old machine gun, he's got the belt of ammo dangling out the side, that's what these cans were meant to hold. A bunch of belted ammo for machine guns. So when the military orders these things from the manufacturers, they come full with ammo, and then whenever they use them for, at training, or they use them out in the field or whatever, the ammo can gets opened, the ammo gets taken out, and the cans get thrown to the side. The cans are basically a one-time disposable type of product. But because of the way these things are built, they have a long life on them. They're made out of steel. They have rubber gaskets on the inside. They can last for an extremely long amount of time. But just the way it's just the way the military works. These things are disposable items to them. So they'll crack this thing open, pull the ammo out, and they'll throw the can off the truck or whatever, and leave it laying there. Now, for training purposes, obviously they don't leave them laying out in the range, because any self-respecting military range officer isn't going to allow a bunch of trash laying around. So all these cans get collected and they go back, and they end up being DRMO, sold off as surplus. Just like they take their old boots or whatever, instead of throwing them away in the trash, they can take their old boots and surplus them. They go to a warehouse or whatever, and people who own like surplus stores can go bid on this stuff, buy a bunch of crap for a really cheap price, and then make a buck selling it in their store. So you can get pallets of these ammo cans on surplus, just a whole pallet, probably like 5 foot high or more of ammo cans just stacked on there. They make them in 30 caliber, 50 caliber, 40 caliber. I'm sorry, not 40 caliber, 40 millimeter. They make really long ones that hold mortar rounds in. There's large plastic ones that can hold the big 20 millimeter shells. But overall, the most common ones that you're going to find out and about are going to be these 30 caliber cans and the 50 caliber cans. So 30 caliber can, and this goes for all of these cans. Move some stuff around so you can see better. So one thing about all these cans is, I'll start with the outside. The handles on here. It's a little bit closer. The handles on here, they're built tough. They're not going anywhere. The bottom of the cans have a recessed area so that you can stack them on top of each other. Kind of like little Legos. So you can stack these things is I wouldn't say as high as you want, because you get to a certain point where the center of gravity becomes a risk, and these things could topple over. But you can stack probably 4 or 5 high, all in a row against the back wall of a garage or or stack them too high in a closet or something like that, and you know, they're just easily stackable. They're very organizable. On the front here, you have the latch that keeps the can sealed. This little thing right here, it's really of no use to you unless you have a machine gun mount system, and this is just meant to latch on to the side of a machine gun mount so that you can have the can full of ammo attached to it right there. I'm sure you can find some stuff online how people have repurposed some of their ammo cans, have maybe come up with a use for this little latch. I don't know. I haven't found a use for it. It just comes with a box. But that's what that thing's for. Now the lids, they just come off completely. But you normally wouldn't be taking them off, but I took this off so that I could show you the inside. When you go to buy one of these cans, and it's probably going to be in your best interest to go buy these in person versus blindly buying a bunch of them online. Because if you go in person, you can physically inspect this little gasket in here. And this gasket is one of the key things that keeps the inside bone dry. You inspect it, feel for it. If it's dry rotted, if it's cracking, coming apart, don't even entertain the idea of getting that can. Because if this seal is jacked up and it's broken, then the stuff that you store inside is going to be subjected to air and moisture. And air and moisture is our two biggest enemies when it comes to ammo, and really our biggest enemies when it comes to anything that we're wanting to keep protected. So you got to check that seal on there to make sure it's still good to go. The 50 cal cans and the 40 cans, they all have that rubber seal in there too. So that's something you need to check to make sure it's good to go. So as I said, the 30 cal cans are probably what you'll see the most of. Next up would be the 50 cal cans. And they're just, you know, they're slightly bigger than the 30 cal. I'll lay this back down for size comparison. You know, it's basically almost like two 30 cal cans make a 50 cal can. Your other can storage options, you know, I've seen these out there quite a bit. They're labeled as ammo cans. They're just plastic cans, same kind of concept with a, you know, locking mechanism on the end, and they got a old rubber gasket on the inside, but they're plastic though. And the what's the word I'm looking for? The tolerance to abuse is not going to be very high with these like it would be with the steel cans. Then there are other watertight storage options out there. This was a can that I got from Walmart. It was originally painted orange, as you can see with some of the paint flaking off here. This came from the boating section, so you know these were designed to go in boats or whatever and keep the contents inside dry. And this works pretty good. I keep my AK mags in there, and it just basically sits in the garage, holding all my extra AK mags until I need them, and then I'll go pull the mags out, use them, and when I'm done, reload them, throw them back in the can. So it's a good little storage can. But again, it being plastic, its durability and ability to take abuse is not going to be as high as the steel cans. Overall, I'm going to recommend the steel cans above anything else. Now, with that being said, this particular can right here, this 30 cal can, I have it filled with 9mm. This 9mm I got back in June of 2016. I got about 1,000 rounds here. It came prepackaged like this. This is Military Ballistic Industries ammunition. These are little 100-round packs. They come in a little plastic bag. And I got about 1,000 rounds worth in here. When you get your ammo, you can, this would be almost the equivalent of being loose packed. When you take your ammo and you put it in cans, you can loose pack the ammo, meaning take all the rounds and just dump them in the can. Or you can keep the cardboard boxes and just stack them inside the can itself. But with cardboard boxing, you're going to have the shape of the box, the plastic thing on the inside holding the rounds, and so you can find yourself setting boxes in here and not able to attain the same amount of rounds in here as you would if you just poured them all loose inside. Either option's fine. It doesn't matter. You can either pour it all in loose or keep them in the boxes and throw them in there. Just know that when you keep them in the boxes and you put them in there, you're not going to be able to pack as many in there as you would if you just poured it all in loose. Put your ammo in there either way you do it, and you can throw some desiccant packs in there. Now when it comes to desiccant packs, and I'll talk about this specific can here in a little bit. You can buy desiccant packs online. These particular ones I got off Amazon. I don't know how much, but you can buy a whole bag of these, or whenever you buy shoes and stuff like that, or any electronics, any desiccant packs you get, I keep those things. I never throw them away. I always, as soon as I find one of them in a box of shoes or whatever I buy, I just take it and I throw it in my ammo can, or one of my ammo cans. And that's what I've done with this. I've just, I had a couple of desiccant packs, stuffed them down in there, and that desiccant pack, what it's going to do is absorb moisture, because again, one of the biggest enemies for ammo is moisture, that and oxygen. And in this particular one, I got a piece of paper, I put it in there, I wrote down the date that I got it. This was June of 2016, and how many rounds that I have in there. That way, if I ever go digging in this can for just a little bit of ammo, I can keep a ledger of how much I got in there. That way when I open this thing up, I can just look at that piece of paper and like, oh, I got 1,000 rounds in here, or oh, I only got 500 rounds in there. Because when you start getting multiple cans of ammo, you start forgetting what you got in there. So always keep a little piece of paper in there as like a ledger to let me know what I got in there. Now, when you store a bunch of ammo in a can, it starts to get heavy. So here I have about 1,000 rounds of 9mm ammo in a 30 caliber can. The weight on this thing is, I don't know what the weight is, I don't have any scales, but I can feel it. I guess I can't lift it with a pinky. The desiccant packs in this big old 50 can, I can lift it with a pinky. It's very lightweight. This thing, I can't. Get 2 fingers in it. Yeah, I can get it with 2 fingers. See if I can do it with just the index. Okay, I can do it with the index finger, but if that kind of gives you an idea of how much this thing weighs. Now, if you were to fill a container like this to the brim with 9mm ammo, it's going to be extremely heavy, very heavy. So if you're going to be the type of person, and I don't mean that in any bad way, because I just store loose ammo too, but if you're going to be storing loose ammo, my recommendation is to fill 30 caliber cans with loose ammo, because it's going to be a lot easier to carry around versus filling this thing to the brim with loose ammo. It's going to be probably double the weight. So I can fit about 1,000 rounds of 9mm in here. I don't know how much ammo one of these 50 cal cans will hold of loose ammo. But obviously it's going to be more than this, and it's going to be extremely heavy. So just make things easier on you. Get 30 cal cans to fill full of loose ammo. That way it's easier to move around for you. Now with that being said, I also have this can here that has some of my 9mm ammo in it. So this can, I've got magazines already preloaded, full of ammo. The back half of this can, I took a little canvas 6-pack drink holder from Cracker Barrel. If you ever go to Cracker Barrel, try the cream soda drinks. They're really good. The root beer is okay. I forget which root beer they get, but the cream soda, they get a really good cream soda out there. It's actually really good. But that's where I got this thing from, was just trying those different bottles out there. So I kept this and repurposed it as a little ammo carrier. So I keep all the Glock mags loaded, sitting on top there. And then down in here, inside this canvas bag, got a bunch of mags. I keep loose pack ammo. So this was some ammo that I had left over from when I got a 1,000-round case of Wolf ammo. This is what's left of it. I got some aluminum ammo at one point. I don't remember how much I got, but this is what I had left of it. And then the rest of the ammo in this canvas bag is just a bunch of loose brass 9mm. And I found desiccant packs in there. I got one big one that was specifically bought just for gun stuff, and then this is a smaller one that came out of something that I bought that came with a desiccant pack. I just threw it in there. So this is a can that I keep 1, loaded magazines in, and then 2, just loose ammo in there. And its weight, although it's not terrible, it's still pretty heavy. I also have more loose packed ammo in here. I've got some ammo that I got in March of 2019. This is some old, or not old, but some Speer Gold Dot ammo that a failed inspection at the factory. This was originally manufactured for duty ammo, like police stuff, but for some reason it failed its inspection at the factory, and they didn't want to put them in boxes and sell them as, you know, actual duty ammo. So this is just training ammo. It still works fine. It's just the lot. Whenever ammo manufacturers make a bunch of ammo, they'll make a whole big old batch, and they'll call it a lot, and then they'll pull some as samples out, and they'll go through them. If some of those samples fail, then that whole lot that they made, they'll do something else with it. And this is what this stuff was. It was one batch of ammo that they made. They pulled some samples. They said, "Oh, this doesn't meet our specifications. We're not going to put it in boxes to be sold to law enforcement, security, or people for wanting ammo for self-defense purposes." And so they put it in a special box for training only. So you still get the duty grade ammo, plus P load or whatever. It's going to be just like the stuff that you'd be carrying in your gun, but it failed its inspection, so it's just training only. And I forget how many rounds of ammo of this stuff I've got. Probably like maybe 500 rounds or something like that. Here it is. So I saved the cardboard cutout. So it's Speer 9. It just says training hollow point ammunition. And they put a little warning on there, not for LE duty use, practice ammo only. Because you'd probably be surprised about how many people out there would be shady and would try to sell it off as, legit duty ammo. But anyway, That stays in the ammo can. I also got my safety trainers. They're just little dummy rounds to, you know, go through malfunction drills. And I got another cardboard box of something down here. Oh, the Ranger ammo. So this is just my training box of 9mm that I lug around. You know, I'll take this to classes. I keep the magazines full. You know, and that brings up, you know, a topic for some people. You know, they may be like, oh, you shouldn't keep your magazines loaded. That's going to cause spring fatigue. You load, you know, buy this thing brand new, load it to the max, and leave it sit for a decade. And, you know, after a decade, take it out, stick it to the gun. It's going to feed the same as if you just, you know, loaded it up right now and 5 minutes later put it in the gun and use it. You get spring fatigue from repeated compression expansion of the spring. So using this thing multiple times, loading, firing, loading, firing, just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on that spring causes spring fatigue. Not keeping them loaded. So my magazines are always loaded. The only empty magazines that I have are, I got a couple of magazines that are bad and they don't feed properly anymore, and I wrote on them training use only, and I'll use those as just demonstration things, or I'll load them as needed. Every other mag, as far as I know, as long as it's not broken in any way, every other mag stays loaded. The reason being is I go to a class. I'm there to learn, and I want to soak up as much knowledge as possible. So, you know, at the end of a relay, you know, some drill that you go do, while I can just casually reload some mags, I'm not under the pressure to go try and reload a bunch of stuff as quick as possible to get back up on the line and get back up there. Because usually in between your relays, people are talking, the instructor's talking, and you, even though you're not doing any drills in that exact moment, you can still learn a bunch of stuff just from people talking, just conversations in between drills. So I keep all the magazines loaded. That way I can still have some leisure time to kind of hang around at the front of the line where, you know, everyone else is at and where the instructor is at, and still be able to learn, or still soak up some knowledge versus being, you know, back at the table or whatever trying to feverishly load magazines. And then too, also at the beginning of the class, you know, I like to keep my magazines loaded so that when I go take a class, I've got that magazine right there, or those magazines right there ready to go. I don't have to waste time loading stuff, and it just makes the class go by or start a little bit quicker. That way you're not wasting time. And when you are shelling out, you know, a couple $100, $500 or whatever for a 2-day class, and a lot of it's spent with a bunch of, you know, downtime, you're wasting your time there. And so that's why I keep them loaded. Now, with this being full of what all you saw, again, it's not filled to the brim with ammo, but if it was, this thing would be extremely heavy and would be uncomfortable to lift. Now, going back to the plastic can. If you want to fill your cans up to the brim with loose packed ammo, you need to do it with the surplus cans, because these cans, and it takes very little wiggling to see that, well, this handle just almost nearly comes all the way out. And so if you load this thing to the brim with a bunch of ammo, the weight of it, just by lifting it up, you can have a failure point within the handle. So I wouldn't recommend loading these plastic cans to the brim. I would only use these cans for lightweight items or just a small amount of ammo. These cans it's going to take a lot to break the handle on these. The amount of weight and force that would need to be exerted to break these things is not something that you are going to be physically capable of. You wouldn't be able to lift the amount of weight needed to break this handle. You'd have to use a machine to lift the amount of weight, and even it's cubic inches of space in there. I don't think there's anything you pour in there to make it that heavy. You would have to attach stuff to the bottom of it and keep it down, and then take a press or something hydraulic and do a lifting and meet the breaking point for this. So you are not going to be able to physically load this thing with so much stuff and be able to lift it to the point where this handle fails. Not saying these handles can't break, but I just don't think that you as a person would be able to break these just under normal conditions of lifting stuff. You would have to use a machine and a bunch of heavy weight to figure out when this thing's going to break. Now, I'll go back into the desiccant packs. So I bought the desiccant packs and oxygen absorbers. Got them off Amazon, and I keep them in this can so that they're not always continuously absorbing moisture or anything. So, I could have used a smaller can, but I had a bunch of this stuff, so I just used one of the bigger cans to keep it in. These are all desiccant packs. This is not original packaging. The stuff that's inside here is oxygen absorbers. I bought a package of them. I used a few, and then I took one of my Mylar pouches, cut it to size, resealed the side to make a pouch, dropped the stuff in there, and then sealed the top and put a little notch in the side so that I could easily rip it open for the next time that I go load something that I need for long-term storage. So if you go get desiccant packs and oxygen absorbers, seal them in a can. That way they're not sitting on a shelf absorbing a bunch of oxygen and moisture and then being useless after X amount of time. This, I think, no, this ain't a 40 can. This actually might be a legit 50 can. These other cans might be knockoffs. I'm not 100% sure. I done covered up the sides, so I don't know what's on them. I just put stickers on there, and then whatever was over here was painted over. So it's not a 40 can, but it's a little bit bigger than those other cans that look like 50 cans. But in here, there's a bunch of 5.56 ammo. I've got I don't know why I got just 5 magazines in there. This is just some of my training ammo. I got this again back in 2016, and it was a 1,000-round case that I got as the PMC. I tore the tops off the boxes, and these boxes come, well, I don't know if these came with stripper clips or not. I think these were all loosely packed inside the box or had the little plastic inserts in there. I can't remember. I might have had enough of these and just put a bunch of these on stripper clips. I can't remember. I think that's maybe what I did, was because I had a bunch of these stripper clips left over from some other ammo that I went through. And again, that's a different thing with different manufacturers and the product line that you buy. So you can buy, little boxes like this, and it comes with like a little plastic little thing in there to keep the rounds fitted up, or it can come in there kind of loose pack. Or you can buy ammo that comes in just like plain brown cardboard packaging, similar to size in this, and it has the ammo on the stripper clips. But I think what I did was opened all these and just loaded the rounds in the stripper clips, and then stuck the stripper clips back in the boxes, just for you know, nice, easy organization. And of course, put that desiccant packs in there. Stripper clips. I'll do a video on stripper clips for some of you who haven't used any of these things before. They're super easy and simple to use. Basically, you know, just real quick, you'd take this piece right there, stick it to the back. Get one of these loaded ones out. Take one of these, press it in, and then it just goes, it slides all the way down inside there. So it's really quick. It just goes. It's a really quick, easy, simple way to load your AR mags. So I keep, of course, this lip feeder thing. I don't know what the technical name for it is. I keep that inside this can. That way when I open the can, I can just, you know, load my AR mags pretty quick. And again, I kept another piece of paper in here as sort of a ledger. So in June, this is another thing I bought in June of 2016. I got 1,000 rounds of this, and then it wasn't until June and July of 2017 that I used some of the ammo in here, and now I'm down to 870 rounds of ammo. You can also, from different manufacturers, buy 5.56 ammo that comes already preloaded in the stripper clips, and it comes in a little green cloth bandolier, kind of like what you'd see in like old photos from Vietnam. That's just, you know, a really simple, you know, you buy the can and then you just set the can on the shelf. You don't have to do any, you know, extra to, you know, take loose rounds, put on stripper clips, and then store them all nice and neat upright. The whole can just comes with stripper clips in there. And I've got a couple other cans like that I bought, and I got one sitting off in my storage area. I bought another can, and I took all the ammo out of the stripper clips and loaded them into some extra AR mags that I bought. Another way to store ammo is, again, as I noted, already in magazines. So this one, I just have some of my extra AK mags full of ammo sitting in there with desiccant packs, multiple of them in there. And then I've got another box of just 7.62 ammo still in the boxes, and it's the, you know, the cheaper stuff. It has the thin paper packaging with a little metal staple thing in there. Got a whole, not this exact can, but one of the bigger 50 cal cans. Got it full of 7.62 for the AK. I think that's about it on what I want to talk about with storing ammo in cans. So that's how you store ammo in cans, and now we're getting into the why. So the why would be protecting your investment and your precious metals. So oxygen and moisture is going to be your biggest enemy when it comes to metals. And I don't have any examples of ammo that's been kind of, oops, daisy, that bag had a hole in it. I don't have any examples of any ammo kind of left out in the elements that's, you know, looking like crap, because I take care of the stuff I buy. But you can have ammo sitting out in the garage on a shelf or something, and that cardboard over time is going to absorb moisture. And after that cardboard box has absorbed moisture, the cartridges inside are then, of course, going to be surrounded by moisture. And you can get your brass ammo can take on a tarnished look to it, and the projectile can kind of take on this tarnished, nasty look to it. If you get military surplus grade ammo, you're going to have really good sealed primers on there. The round itself is going to be sealed pretty well. And you shouldn't have an issue with any of that stuff going off. The issue that comes into play with a bunch of, you know, dirty cased ammo is if you fire a bunch of rounds in a weapon with all that gunk on the outside of the casing, you can start getting into feeding problems. Failure to eject or failure to feed. And then in extreme cases, of course, you know, the entire cartridge can go bad, especially in really moist environments. And that really goes back into the quality of the box. So there's another video out on YouTube where this guy, he has a swimming pool and he takes a surplus can. I think he fills it full of gravel and he takes it into the pool. He goes into a couple different depths. He goes to the shallow end, he goes to the deep end, and the ammo stays pretty well dry. Then he uses a can, kind of like one of these that you get from a sporting goods store, and it does not keep the ammo dry past a certain depth and a certain amount of time under there. So for long-term storage, again, I'm recommending these things because it protects your contents really well from moisture and oxygen, which is, like I said, our two biggest enemies when it comes to this stuff. This can has been pretty much sealed since June of 2016. Other than, of course, me moving it around, I haven't opened it really up until today. So it's been sealed in there for a few years now. It's still good to go. There's nothing wrong with it, and there's not going to be anything wrong with it because of the way you store ammo. So protecting the stuff on the inside is why we store ammo like this. Now you could also vacuum seal pack your ammo if you've got that equipment to do it. And I've even seen some people do that. They'll take loose ammo, put it in one of those vacuum sealed bags, hook it up to the machine, suck all the air out, and then throw it in a box or something like that. Yeah, that's an option. You can even vacuum seal loose ammo and then throw them inside these little flimsy plastic boxes just for double redundancy. You can even do the same thing in the metal ones. It's not something you're really going to need to do unless the can itself becomes breached. Then maybe, you know, those individually, you know, packaged things of ammo being sealed would be a benefit to you. But overall, these metal cans are going to last pretty good. Another reason why we want to store ammo is just think about our current situation with the coronavirus. I've had several people send me messages asking me where to find ammo. I've even had a couple of people send me messages asking if I had any ammo to spare. And it's times like this that really illustrates why you need to store ammo. Not just a 50 round box, but more than 100 rounds. Back when I got this stuff, the buying was good. Ammo was at a good price, magazines at a good price. Prime time to go buy ammo and magazines. Times like now is not prime time because of the places that do have ammo, they have restrictions on how much you can buy. You're limited to 2 boxes a purchase or a day. So if you go into a gun store ABC, they may impose a restriction saying, hey, you can only buy 1 box today. And then another store might say, well, you can only buy 2 boxes today. Whereas, let's go back to November 2019. There was nothing serious going on. People had the opportunity to buy a bunch of ammo, to buy a bunch of magazines. Those people who for the last few years who've had the ability to go buy this stuff at a reasonable price, they failed to do so, and now these people are seeing that, oh wow, there's people out there who are losing their jobs and things are potentially looking to get bad, and they want ammo because they realize that the crap can hit the fan and they're going to need ammo. Or they're going to want ammo, and they don't have it because they were not buying it when they should have been buying it. Not to go too far into politics, but under the Trump administration so far, the buying has been prime up until now. This Corona thing has kind of screwed that track record up, so to speak. If you go to the previous administration under Obama, people were all afraid about Obama and his agenda on guns, and so I can't quote the numbers, but someone has said that Obama was probably the best gun salesman ever, especially right after his election, because there were just, bukus of guns and ammo being sold. Trump got in office, granted, people are still out buying guns and stuff, but it wasn't to the extent of, oh my God, we think these things are going to disappear. Let's go flood the stores. And so you had ammo out there and guns out there. For the last few years, there has been a decent price. A few months back, I got, I forgot how many magazines I got, but I got quite a few AR-15 PMags for like $9 a piece. And I found them online. I can't remember where I got them at, but $9 a magazine. I'm sure it can get better than that, but for the most part, it don't get any better than that. You'd be hard pressed to go anywhere right now and find a PMag AR-15 for $9. But I bought that stuff when the buying was good, when it was readily available. I spent a little bit here, spent a little bit there, spent a little bit here, and of course, I've been doing this over the years. Some of these ammo cans, like this one. I don't even know when I got this can. But based on some of the stickers on the side, the Jägermeister stickers from worked at the bar, I'd say probably at least 2008 is when I could have had possession of this can. Probably even sooner than that. I can't remember. But over the years, you start collecting things like this, and especially when you're a hoarder, you collect a whole lot more. But over the years, you collect little things like this. And when it comes to ammo and guns, albeit I don't really get into collecting guns a whole lot, I just kind of collect quote unquote precious metals. And I'm not, I would like my ammo stores to be higher than what they are. But at the same time, I'm not hurting for ammo right now. I got enough ammo to last a little while. It's not going to last a very long time. But if things start getting really bad, I've got enough ammo to last me a while, to get me, one, out of an urban environment and out to a bug out location, and then defend that bug out location and go hunting for an extended amount of time. Now, as far as sustainment training goes, keeping up sustainment training once, twice a year, something like that, that of course is going to start eating into your ammo stores. And that's really where my desire to have more ammo comes into play. I would like to have enough ammo to do sustainment training for at least a couple years on hand, and on top of then having your ammo for your social occasions. But I've been doing this for a while, and like I said, although I do want more ammo, I'm good with where I'm at right now, because I recognize that the buying was good when it was good. Now the buying's not good. Now you can't hardly find any ammo out there. If you do, you're limited to how much you could buy. So if you have only one 50-round box of ammo and you're wanting more, if you find a place that has ammo, you're going to be limited to 1 or 2 boxes. So you're not going to be able to stock up a whole lot. Same with magazines. I'm pretty sure that probably magazines out there are disappearing off the shelves pretty quick. Not just brick and mortar stores with ammos disappearing, but your online distributors. One company that I've used a lot is LuckyGunner.com. Now this could have changed within the last few years, but at one time when I did all my research with all the websites out there for the online ammo, of the ones that I found easier to navigate, I kept a list, and said, all right, this company has this company has this company has this company has this, and at what prices. And I found Lucky Gunner to be one of the better priced ones. Now, there could have been a couple other ones that had way better prices. It's just their website sucked and were hard to navigate. So out of those lists of ones I had, the easy navigable easy navigable websites, Lucky Gunner was the one that had the better priced ammo. But this is a few years outdated. Those numbers could be changed. For all I know, they could be the most expensive one. I don't know. But looking at their website and looking at other websites that do online ammo sales, they're all empty. They all say out of stock, or there's a couple of them that have the little button that says put in cart or go to cart or whatever. It'll say notify me when available. So out of all those sites that I went to, there were a couple that had Wolf, or it's either Wolf or Tula. The cheap steel cased 9mm ammo. They had those in 1,000 round cases. There's a couple places that still had some of those left, and they didn't have a whole lot. There was a couple that I remember. One had like 20 left in stock, and another had something like 40 or 60 left in stock, or something like that. So even the cheap junk ammo stuff is pretty much well disappearing. And that even translates in the rifle ammo too. So I did a search for 5.56. I couldn't find any 5.56 ammo at any of the websites that I went to. Now, granted, I didn't go to every single online ammo store, but I went to quite a few of them, and none of them had anything. Now, I did find one online source that had Federal Hydroshocks for 9mm, but they had a limited quantity in stock, and then they also had a warning message on their website stating that shipping times were way out because of their high volume of orders coming in. So I'd imagine that what all they've sold in their inventory so far, a lot of it probably hasn't even left the warehouse yet, because they just had so many orders coming in. So even if you do come to one of these online stores and it says, oh, we got 200 rounds of XYZ available, even if you are able to punch in your credit card info and buy that thing, it's probably going to be a couple of weeks before it ever gets to you, because there's hundreds of other folks, or maybe even thousands of other folks, who've already put their order in, and these warehouses or these companies just haven't had to deal with this volume of people ordering stuff, so they're overwhelmed. So even if you can buy ammo online and find a place for it, it's probably going to be a while before it gets to you. Maybe a few weeks, maybe even a month. That one website I went to said it could be anywhere to like 6 to 12 weeks, maybe, possibly. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember thinking, wow, I mean, that's almost towards the end of the year, that or middle of the year towards fall, that it'd be getting to you. So that's another reason into why you want to store ammo for cases like this, when the shelves start going empty and stuff is hard to come by. If you start investing in this stuff and you buy a little bit here, buy a little bit there, store it away, when bad times come, you already have it and you're not sweating to find anymore. So my message, or the moral of the story is, whenever this whole Corona thing ends and things start getting back to normal, ammo starts going back on the shelf at reasonable prices, and you're able to buy a bunch of it at once, my recommendation to you is start buying that stuff and storing it, because you don't know when the next time something's going to happen, when it's going to be very hard to come by. Or if something really bad and drastic happens, you're not buying anything online anymore, because there is no more power grid. There's no more infrastructure like that. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. If you've liked what you've seen here for the last 15 minutes, go ahead and give me a like, share, and a comment. Go ahead and head on over to the Facebook page and do the same over there. Thank you.